What is up, everybody? How is
So
it
guys,
going? Mr. Brennan Morris, how are you doing, my friend?
doing good, Troy. How you doing, buddy? This beautiful thunder and lightning evening.
I know. We both have this excellent Central Florida backdrop of afternoon showers slash inclement weather. So, gotta love it. Great backdrop for tonight's Facebook Live.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's do it.
Good stuff, man. Yes, I know that there is a lot of excitement behind this one, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I think we've got a lot of new people jumping into the FBA Kings community. Super excited to have you all. And I think if this is your first piece of content, you picked a very interesting time. We've got some great content in the group. I just recently did a live on hacks to garner exposure and rank your YouTube videos. Free value there. And yeah, that's really our approach and philosophy with you guys. So definitely check that out if you are new to the community. And so with that, I want to take some time to give a quick intro to who we are. If you have not had a chance to see myself or my co-host Brennan Morris, just a little bit about us. So Brennan, you want to give the folks just kind of a little bit of your background and how you came to be
Sure.
who you are today?
Yeah, I mean, I went from the IT world. I was IT product manager, and then slowly started doing Amazon while I was working my day job. And that was 2014, I believe, is when I started Amazon in January 2014, and then I quit in September of 2014. So it was enough money for me to kind of venture out on my own and do Amazon full time, and never look back. Really deep dive into my first company, which was a supplement company, and then eventually sold that company in October of 2016. So it was a nice little hefty amount. And, so we have other Amazon companies and other products and of course, the tools, and that's kind of like the long and short of me. So now I just try to give back to the community. I do speak on stage and go to a lot of the events and just kind of offer free value, and just like this group, this live. And yeah, that's kind of the long and short of it.
That's awesome, man. And for you guys who may not know, Brennan's being his usual humble self. His exit was in excess of it was eight figures essentially. So he's somebody who knows what he's doing when it comes to building, scaling a brand, and getting in the trenches when it comes to optimization. So the short of it for somebody like me and you guys is to know that Brennan is somebody who is nice enough to really share his information, but comes from a place of I don't know, authority, I guess is the right word to use. I don't use it a lot with you, Brennan. I don't want you getting a big head about it like that. But no, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing. So
yes, absolutely. And the results
are process, but it's a fun learning process.
That's right.
And Troy, you have a good story as well. I mean, you kind of started around the same time.
Yeah. Way back when, kind of started on my own in the corporate, side hustle during the corporate gig, coming from a project management background. Started a brand in the in the beauty space, which sort of parallels supplements in terms of the saturation and really how you have to be on top of every single trend to win in the space. Mm-hmm. So I think we have some parallels there. My exit was in, I sold my flagship brand early last year for multiple seven figures. That was a great exit for me. And then I moved on to consulting with 8 and 9 figure brands. So that was very eye-opening to see sort of enterprise level clients, what sort of needs and demands that they have in a high volume, high revenue environment. And then Brennan and I teamed up with a great team to co-found Solo.Tools. And that is the platform that we run that is really geared towards visibility and optimization on Amazon. It's really an A to Z solution for that, because what we do really well and really have kind of a moat in the space is with our keyword research. Our platform does automatic keyword harvesting for you. So there's a slew of features there. Again, you guys can check it out. You may already know that, but that's a little bit of our story to where we've we've met and co-founded the platform that is our main focus now, and taking all of our know-how and kind of dumping it into this bucket of an optimization platform. So hopefully that has benefited some of you guys, and we'll do so in the future. So
absolutely.
With some of that housekeeping out of the way, I know everybody's really anxious to know and for us to dig into product launches. That is a topic du jour, and rightfully so. It's sort of right alongside reviews for an Amazon seller to stay. You just have to stay tapped into it. The saturation, the Chinese competitors, commoditized products. If you don't have anything proprietary, trade, this is sort of the par for the course. That you have to stay tapped into this. If your competitor gets a leg up, gets a month step ahead of you, you just run the risk of just simply falling behind. So
it's always changing. I mean, the launch strategy has changed over the last 4 or 5 years. Probably every 6 months, there's a slight tweak, a new URL, there's a new quantity, a new % off, a new coupon type, a new, it's always changing. So we definitely need to keep up with it and keep up with the trend and figure out what's working now. And this is working now for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. I'm getting some feedback that the video's not working. Can you guys just let me know in the comments? Give me a quick thumbs up or give me a yes, it works, so I know that you guys can hear and see us just okay. Don't want anybody miss anything before we jump right into things. Everybody's being shy. Man, my last live video, everybody was just was so shy.
Yelling at you.
It's fine. It's working great. Yeah, awesome. Bunch of thumbs up. Lovely. Thanks, guys. Thank you for that. And let's, absolutely. So the only constant is changing. Absolutely. That's totally true. And even ever more so in our space. And so with product launches, we've seen really over the past 4 or 5 years that Brennan and I have kind of been running Amazon-centric brands. We've sort of seen the gamut of different strategies that work, that have fallen off and no longer work. And we're sort of in the midst of, I think, an area of uncertainty where there's a lot of information out there, and some of it can be good, some of it can be misleading, some of it can be, it can just be very difficult to navigate. And so, as an example, now a lot of folks are running launches that maybe run an 8-day window, maybe run a 4-day window, and we've been testing to kind of see and sort of validate some of those theories. So, Brennan, maybe you can speak to maybe what you've been seeing other people trying with,
we've seen out there now. Yeah, we've seen people do. I've seen people do 14-day launches, and we've tried, going 10 all the way down to 1-day launches. The whole spectrum. We've tried, different URLs. We've tried different coupon types. We've tried different coupon percentage off. With free shipping, without free shipping, and we've really tried kind of everything, trying to kind of make sense of what is working now. And we've got a lot of feedback from the beta users, and I think that's really what's helped us out. We've had a ton of interest in the beta group. We invited a bunch of people in. We had a great price for the beta users, and they really jumped in on it. And we really saw some amazing results. I think Troy's going to share some results later, but I think we had guys go from, position 250 to, position 5. And it's just been really incredible, especially for a highly competitive keyword. I think that one particular use case was almost 80,000 searches a month. It's a highly competitive keyword, and it works.
Right.
Yeah. So we've seen a lot, and we've tried everything.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's really important for you guys to understand, is that as part of our beta and testing and having an adequate sample size, it was important for us to have some of those really competitive categories where we were dealing with toys, beauty, real high visibility keywords like water bottle even. Like we were just kind of going at this and saying, okay, if this works, if it's effective in the toughest, most saturated spaces, we can back that up and say, okay, this is effective where there's low hanging fruit, where the opportunity already lies in front of us. And so really what we found to be one of the most consistent and effective strategies, and this has been so in the past, so it's not new, but it's been confirmed and vetted today, is that a sales spike and higher velocity and a single day launch is the most effective strategy to date. We've seen that through our tests, and we've really been able to validate it across a number of categories and for highly competitive keywords.
Yep. The shorter amount of time, the better, for sure.
Absolutely. So when we've been talking about 14, 8 days, 4 days, they have just not been proven to be as effective as a spike in sales velocity. And so again, this has changed over time, but we can say with confidence and with the accuracy that we've seen and the effectiveness that a spike in sales it makes up a truly effective launch.
Yep.
Now, a question that will come from that is, okay, so you've garnered a ton of sales in a very short period of time. Usually, to guarantee that type of uptake, you have to do a higher percentage off, which is typically true. You want to make sure, you want to guarantee, since the results are guaranteed as part of that result, you want to guarantee the uptake to get you there. And the question then becomes, do higher percentage off launches, are there any adverse impacts or effects to doing a higher percentage off? And what we found is that that's not the case. You can do a 90, 95% off launch and it still be genuinely effective in that spike, high velocity, high sales velocity environment.
Yeah, we definitely want a really high take rate, because what begins to happen is, I mean, these are real customers, real people that really want your product. And we're really moving away from people that just want free stuff. Those aren't the people that we want. We want people that are generally interested in whatever product you have, a water bottle. And with that being said, we want to remove all resistance from them purchasing. So maybe you try out 75% off. They click through, they click on your product, add to cart, they add the coupon, and they look at that final total. They got the maybe free shipping in their Prime. They look at that total and they're like, you know what, $7. They're like, I thought I wanted it, but I didn't want it that badly. And then they close the window.
Right.
Now, so we really want the highest take rate. We want to remove all barrier to resistance. I mean, come on, Amazon has single click purchasing now. They definitely are the kings of removing purchase resistance. So yeah, 95% off. There's no, it's not detrimental to ranking to the top. It definitely helps to remove that resistance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to this question, sales velocity, what about sales history? We actually tested on products that have garnered a longer sales history. So they've sort of been more seasoned accounts and products, and the effectiveness remains true. It's all about the sales velocity. That is the foremost factor, along with a few other things that we're going to touch on. So you guys don't want to miss this either, because it's another paradigm shift in launches, and we want to share that with you. Yep. So to this question, sales velocity trumps sales history based on our results.
Yeah, we took products. We had a bunch of people come to us and say, look, I've done other launch services and I have a product that's stagnant. I've tried it. I've done giveaways and it just won't move. You know what? I'm just going to launch a new ASIN. It says, you know what, let's give it a shot. We had products that were 4 years old and we had absolutely zero issue getting them to the top. And not to jump ahead, but what we discovered, which we'll cover in just a second, I think is the key to why this is really working. Absolutely.
And so to take a bit of a larger view, because now that we've touched on with respect to percentage off, one of the big topics is AOV, average order value, because there have been signs of an effective strategy where you garner a full retail purchase, and then there's something that's completed on the back end, whether it's a rebate or some way of reimbursing that customer as a means of an effective launch strategy.
Yep.
And so what we found is AOV is a consideration, average order value. It is a consideration, but it's not as powerful as some of these other factors. The spike in sales velocity, but also this is a really big point, you guys, and this is where we sort of view the evolution of launches going, is quality trumps quantity. And what do we mean by that? The quality of the customer, and Amazon deems this, they sort of have they've got a means and a way for us to capture that, of identifying who a quality customer is. And what we've seen in our testing through utilizing some of our technology, if you will, is that we were able to target and segment that quality customer and not necessarily have to give away the quantity. And so the beauty of that being is that you get the effectiveness with maybe giving away 50 less units, 75 less, more money in your pocket with the effectiveness of the rank strategy of garnering that higher rank.
You could just say it. I mean, low quality customers produce low quality results, and high quality customers produce high quality results. And so, yes, you can give away a unit to a low quality customer and you will get no results for that customer.
Right. Huge. And this is huge. This is, again, something that we've taken quite a bit of time, not only to roll out, again, one of our own features, but to really vet and test and to see and have visibility into this, because the common approach is garner a large list, throw out a compelling offer, and see what sticks. And that way is it just simply is going away. Yep. Amazon is rightfully curating quality customers, and they're rewarding sellers that are selling to those quality customers. And if your launch strategy follows that path, you have cost effectiveness, you have efficiency in ranking, you have all of these factors met for genuinely, again, the sort of the evolution of launches moving forward. So this has proven to be really, really effective. And so, as I mentioned, I alluded to it as our technology. It's something that we actually call PAT. It's preferred audience targeting. And so we segment those customers that are higher quality based on what Amazon deems those as higher quality. And that's been part of our launch strategy. And so with that, I've kind of let the cat out of the bag there, Brennan, because I've alluded to a feature of our platform, but you guys in the Kings community are already well aware of it. And that launch platform is Last Launch. It is the platform that Seller.Tools, it's powered by Seller.Tools. So the data, the people, the technology is all backed by our team. And it can leverage this technology, PAT, preferred audience targeting, to be able to facilitate everything that we've touched on, both spiking in sales, both in delivery and the process of the launch, the segmenting of the audience to ensure quality over quantity. So you can predictably give away less units than you may need to in a quantity over quality environment. And so it checks off all the boxes that we have effectively vetted for an effective launch. And we're very excited to be releasing this today to you guys. So you can, again, take everything that we've touched on for an effective launch, and you have a turnkey solution to meet all the criteria that we look for in our own launches. Because as you can imagine, and Brendan can attest to this, we tested this a lot on our own internal products.
Yeah, we still use it on all of our brands. We use it on all of our products. And one of our devs, he has his own Amazon brand, and he was just like, okay, I'm going to do 15 products and 15 keywords. Like, whoa, you can't just use up all the slots available. So it was quite interesting. Like we use it, we love it, and that's how we discovered it, which was what is working, what are we going to use to grow our own brands, and that's why we developed Seller.Tools in the first place. Is what is working, how are we going to grow our brands, learning it, optimizing it, testing it, playing around with it, and then once it was working and we spent our own money, then we invited the beta group users in. And then they had fantastic results. And now we're like, you know what, let's kind of open this up. So
Absolutely. So I want to do just very quickly, hopefully Facebook will allow me to be on a live and drop in some of the results. But as promised, I wanted to, let's see if it'll let me do this. It may not.
Why you do that? A lot of these products, I mean, they stick. They did not drop. As long as it wasn't, something crazy like an eye cream that had 2 reviews. You definitely have to be able to stick, and definitely still have to look like you belong there, and then let the organic sales take over. I mean, we've done a lot of videos on that. But if you have a great product with great reviews and you kind of stuck on page 2, page 3, page 4, it'll definitely get you to where you need to be.
Right.
And then as long as organics take over, you'll stick there.
Yep, absolutely. I don't think there's going to be an elegant way for me to drop some of those results in there. I'm going to do it after the live, you guys. But just a quick recap, because again, we want to show that this has been effective in some of the most competitive spaces, which some of you guys play in, and some of them, there's maybe not as much saturation, which is great, because then of course it's sort of assumed that your launches are going to be more effective. So in toys, for a top keyword, we saw pre-launch 32 for a main keyword. Post-launch, it was in the second placement. For water bottle as a main keyword, we were 15 pre-launch, second post-launch. For beauty, I hope they're okay with me saying the product, but it speaks to the effectiveness of this launch. This was for a vitamin C product. We went from pre-launch rank placement 15 to third for vitamin C serum. This is sort of like a garlic press. It's in that vein of like ultra saturation, where moving like 2 places is like, a year's worth of your marketing spend.
Yeah.
So a single launch to go from 15 to 3 is pretty insane. Pretty insane. Again, coming from somebody in the beauty spaces as well. So, and that's huge. That's huge. So we're really excited again to be sharing these insights with you guys. And I would encourage you. Last Launch, of course, is our platform. It's something we've vetted, we've created, and we want it to really meet all your guys' needs. But keep in mind the things that we've shared. At the very least, we want you guys to have value in terms of spike in sales velocity. You can still use higher promo codes. If and when possible, aim and make sure that you're make sure that you're garnering and looking for quality customers. Again, through Last Launch, we do that for you. But that is where we see the evolution of product launches going. It's not as stagnant from the Amazon perspective. They make a moving target, and we always are going to stay on top of that. But that's where the target is right now, is quality over quantity. And we leverage through Last Launch.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
so we are launching it today. Those that have active seller.tools accounts, you will notice that in your dashboard along the left-hand pane. As of right now, if you are not currently a seller.tools customer and you set up an account, those in a trial account will still have access to Last Launch. That's not necessarily a guarantee, but if you start a trial account, you will have access. And as part of this launch, we want to give you guys value for being first movers, for jumping in. We know that there's not going to be any shortages of demand, but we want you guys to get first access. So set up your launches, navigate to your dashboard. And right now we're doing a launch promotion for 20% off. And the promo code is Last Launch, all one word. That's LASTLAUNCH. And that gets you 20% off of your Last Launch. And again, includes everything that we've talked about. It is a one-day launch. We facilitate it with the single-use promo codes. You get up to 3 keywords, and you can divvy out your promo codes accordingly. And that also includes the use of PAT, again, preferred audience targeting, to where we can ensure, as part of your launch, when you're focusing on quality, we deliver more effective results in terms of rank and sticking. That was a point that Brennan made, and it's really important for you guys to understand that it's not as temporary. It's not just you're thrown up there and you don't stick. We include in part of the Last Launch a checklist that's really helpful, and it's always that reminder of, yes, you need to optimize your listing. Through seller.tools, you leverage the listing manager. Make sure your listing is optimized. Make sure you look like you're supposed to be there, because Amazon will suss you out quick, and its customers will do the same.
Customers would just not buy your product, and definitely optimize your listing. We had a couple beta users that wanted to launch on keywords, and the keyword wasn't even in their listing, so it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
But you mentioned something about, and now I'm drawing a blank here. Maybe the days to see the result, and then also the keywords. So let's start off with keywords. Now there are 3 keywords that you can launch, or you can choose to do 1, 2, or 3. But really use seller tools to determine the quantity for each one of those. So you could go after a highly competitive one, plus kind of some lower ones based upon your budget, or you could decide, hey, I only have so much inventory. Let me go ahead and go after these 3 kind of lower end keywords. So you can really divvy up how you want to utilize your inventory and how you want to utilize your launch. So it's not like, hey, give us 3 keywords, give us 300 units, and we'll just kind of evenly distribute to all 3 keywords. We really want you to use, seller.tools take a look at the quantities that are there, assign each keyword to the quantity, and submit that to the form. That way, you know, every single launch and every single keyword is optimized. And then lastly, in terms of like days to see the results, we had a couple beta users that were like, you know, we did it at 8 a.m. this morning. It's noon. How come I'm not number one? Right. You have to remember that Amazon wants quality customers. They want quality orders. They don't want fraud. So Amazon will do their fraud check on every single order, which is what we want, right? So Amazon is going to make sure that the order is legitimate. They're going to make sure that the payment is legitimate and that the payment processes. They're going to make sure that the order is sent out, that it's a valid address. They're going to make sure it's delivered, to make sure that it wasn't just some phony address of, you know, a field in Missouri somewhere. And then once all these conditions are met, that this is a high quality order, high quality customer, and not, you know, a bunch of Chinese sellers that are trying to do, you know, fake buys to random addresses in the United States. Once they notice that's legitimate, then they say that order was legitimate, and then you begin to see the results. So definitely 4 to 5 days, somewhere in that window, where you definitely will begin to see that movement. So you won't see movement on day 1 or day 2. Give it time, give it some days, and let Amazon do their work of verifying the legitimacy of the customer and those orders.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. Great point. Great point. Amazon has that window in which they're going to do their part, and that effectively on the back end is where you'll see the greatest impact to your rank.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, a great value. Thank you, Brennan, for your part in sharing and unleashing Last Launch. I think this is going to be huge. I mean, we're really excited about the implications, both in we really committed the time, energy, and resources to figure out what's working now, and built a feature on the platform to really cater to that.
Yep.
And we got the question, I think, you know, tackling it now, how is Last Launch different than other platforms? And I think the most important thing is, you know, again, understand that what we've shared in terms of what works. If you can do that with other platforms. We would encourage you guys, you know, do what's best for your business.
Yeah, if you can do it yourself, yeah, absolutely. If you can, but it's really coming down to, you can go ahead and say it, is, you know, Pat.
Yeah, Pat is the game changer, guys. That is us leveraging our technology is meeting what Amazon is putting on as a sort of a pedestal, and sort of saying, here's what is most effective for the strategy, and we are just bridging that gap. And through preferred audience targeting, we're able to, you know, shift that paradigm, because for so long the quantity focus was just so easy. Again, you just gave a steep discount, and you just garnered the sales velocity and rank. That's just simply no longer the case. And if it works incrementally, right? Because you get a few quality customers sprinkled in there, but there's nothing discerning, filtering, and preferentially segmenting and targeting that audience in the same way that we are.
Yeah, we've definitely noticed that. Is over time we noticed, like, oh, we have to give away more and more and more and more. Unbeknownst to us, we thought the algorithm was changing, but the algorithm was the same. What was happening was the customers are low quality, so it was less of a percentage of high quality customers. So without revealing too much, that's kind of the long and short of it.
And we're getting this question a lot, and I hate to. We've been trying to share value and answer some of the other questions, but we're getting that a lot. Is what is a quality customer? And right now, because I think it gives us such a strong strategic advantage. Just understanding, guys, Pat is something that's unique to our platform, and it's essentially our means of putting that puzzle piece together. Is finding out. You know, it's just our knowledge and technology syncing with a launch strategy. So
yeah, it really is kind of the magic little sprinkle that makes a launch work, or make it, you know, highly effective.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can't reveal exactly what it is. We can't.
Yeah.
But it's not made up. It's not some magic algorithm that Seller.tools generates. It's It's legitimate.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So let's make a little bit of time, you guys. If you have any questions or feedback, I want to make sure that those that did join us live, we got to those. Obviously, we touched on a few. I can get quality customers on FB using a bot. I can guarantee you're not doing the same thing that we're doing with Pat. So what's the nicest way of saying no on that one? It's just not as effective. But I'm glad to go through specifics if you have questions as to why it's not as effective or different strategies there.
Yeah, guys, if you guys have like a launch strategy that's working for you guys, maybe you built a 20,000 product insert list and you're utilizing that for your launches, and it's really working well for you, definitely stick to that. But for those that maybe don't have that, maybe are launching a brand new product or new to Amazon, or just never devoted the time to build something like that, that's where this just makes complete sense. I mean, it's, put some money in and your ranking goes up and you get money out. So
right. Yeah, absolutely. And again, I don't want to push it. If that works for you guys, at least at minimum, take some of what we've learned, because we're very fortunate with the resources and our commitment to testing that we have a suitable sample set. We have our theories of, our hypotheses have sort of been tested to the point where we can say pretty definitively, based on what we've done, here's what works, guys. Here's, take that information. We just, again, happen to align a platform alongside that to say, okay, now we know what works. Let's deliver this to the marketplace and add value in that way.
Yeah, we definitely chose products that were struggling, that had issues before, that had trouble ranking before. I mean, we didn't just pick brand new products and go after keywords that you could have 20 unit giveaways. We really try to stress it to see, hey, does this actually work?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. So somebody is asking, man, you guys have a lot of questions. That's great. I'm just trying to, do you have some videos examples with the testing? Samuel, I'm going to drop in the Facebook Live some of the results. Again, I try not to, because these are true clients. We did some internal testing, but we actually had beta users. It'll be a segment of the results, but it will give you that pre-launch, post-launch visibility for beauty, toys, water bottles, some of the ones that we mentioned before. This is a good question to answer, Brennan, in terms of minimum reviews for launch. So this is a good one in terms of thinking about, is your listing genuinely optimized and ready for a launch? What are your thoughts in terms of minimum reviews, especially with last launch in mind?
It like I said before, it really depends. Do you look like you belong? I mean, kind of ask yourself as a customer, as just someone who enjoys going out to restaurants or shopping on Amazon. If you wanted to go out and go to get a steak and you jumped on Yelp and you saw 4 restaurants, each one of them had 500, 800, 1,000 reviews respectively. Each one of them had 4.5 stars, and then right there in position number 2 was a restaurant that had 5 stars but only had 4 reviews. It doesn't quite look like it belongs. Yes, it may get some clicks. Yes, some people will go to the restaurant. Yes, people will try it. But it just doesn't look like it belongs. And so it's going to get a lot less clicks and foot traffic compared to a steak restaurant that, gets 1,000 reviews. Same thing with Amazon. If you look at your competition and, if you're looking at something that has 5,000 reviews and you pop up there with 5 reviews, I mean, I would never do that personally. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can stick for a little while, but you will just drop back down. Or you'll stick for a little while and you won't get any sales. Yes, you'll get a couple people will click on you, check you out just because you're visually there, which is great. But you won't get the flood of traffic like the guy with 5,000 reviews. So definitely make a decision based upon your competition. I'm not saying it's completely impossible, but try to look like, if you were a customer, like, that looks good. It's great. It's great images. It's a great price. It's got 5 stars. It looks like something I would buy. Then yes, launch your product. Or what you could do is use Sold Out tools and identify, play around with it and identify keywords and then competitors. There is a hidden field in seller.tools. You have to click on columns, and then you can see competitors. Okay, and then what I would do is kind of try to a balance between that. And what you may notice is that the guy who has 5,000 reviews is not on one of these other keywords. So now you can launch on that keyword, become number one on that keyword with 50 reviews. And that guy with 5,000 reviews is nowhere to be seen because he happened not to have that keyword in his listing. So you could take that route as well. So hopefully that makes sense between making it look like you belong or identifying a keyword that there's not a lot of competitors on, and there's not a competitor that has like, hundreds of reviews or 5,000 reviews. So
Right.
I don't know.
No, I like that litmus test. I think, do you look like you belong? Because I think it factors in the competitive landscape. Your product puts you in the position of the customer, which is kind of the best way to do that is if you're the customer and you have the same pain points, challenges, you're in the market for that product. Does your listing and product look like it belongs?
Yeah.
Reviews.
Yeah. Or it could be, and not to jump in again, but I mean, it could be, a really bad product in terms of the competition. It's 3.5 stars, or it's all your competitors, and you come out with a great brand new solution to something, and you only have 4 or 5 reviews at 5 stars, and it's a great quality product. I would launch that product. Just because over time you slowly get more sales and then more reviews. And if people really like your product, they're going to choose the product with better reviews. I mean, ask yourself, if you had steakhouse and they all were crappy reviews and there was one that had 5 stars, you probably go to the restaurant with 5 stars and not the one with 2.5 stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really product-based, situation-based.
No, great question. Great question. One of the questions was a relatively niche product. So may have had issues in the past with uptake in the launch. And what I would say is that in our testing, we saw that a little bit, but what it encourages for the effectiveness of the launch is moving up to that 95% plus range, is really giving away, having that steep discount to ensure the highest amount of uptake. Because again, you have to kind of view it as a sliding spectrum. You think, oh man, I'm giving away such a high percentage, but with the quality centric model, and we know we're going to have to sort of, I don't want to say train or teach, but almost kind of condition everybody to get used to when this is more effective, when you're giving away more or less units, but maybe even still at that higher discount, the math may work out where if you're shaving off 25% instead of doing, 60, 80% off, you're at 90%, the numbers still shake out where you have a higher ROI at the end of the day. So for niche products, we have it baked into the process to encourage you to really stress, give as high of a discount as you're able to, do your numbers, do your due diligence before you launch. But we don't see any issues with the use of last launch with more niche products. That's a good way of putting it.
Definitely 95% off. We definitely do, we have the people that want your product. And even if it's niche, I mean, unless it's something just crazy, but we've had some pretty kind of strange products, and we've noticed, I mean, I'm guessing that some of these people are not buying it for themselves, maybe buying it for someone else, but we did not seem to have any problem with some crazy, silly products for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Let's maybe make this the last question, Brennan. I think it's a good one. Do the high quality customers have a higher chance of leaving a review?
Do high quality customers have a higher chance of leaving reviews? Do high quality customers have a higher quality chance of leaving reviews? No. The reason is these are true, legitimate Amazon customers. They're not a review group. They're not a review list. It's not curated for the purpose of giveaways and reviews and some sort of like, these are people that are not trained to leave reviews.
Trained is exactly the word that was coming to mind to me.
Yeah. These are people that are not trained. These are real customers with real jobs and real money and real credit cards and just everything being real. That is the power of Pat. Because we're targeting these real customers, they will not be more likely to leave a review. You will get the same review percentage. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not a review service. I'm not gonna tell you it's a review service. It's just real people, real purchases. You know, yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, I think that covers quite a bit. Last question, because it reinforces what we just touched on. What is PAT? So that's preferred audience targeting. It's exclusively through through Last Launch,
Yep.
Powered by Seller.tools. It's accessible to Seller.tools customers, those that are paid customers right now, those that are jumping in on a trial basis. You'll find it in your left-hand navigation, and you can schedule your launch. It looks like I guess the lights are going out on me, Brent. I just realized everything's like powering down, and that good old Florida weather.
Lightning's going, and yeah. But yeah, PAT's really just making sure high quality customers, and that's what we do. So we ignore low quality customers, only stick to high quality customers, and it's something that works behind the scenes. It's never going to be anything that you see in Seller.tools. It won't be anything that we actually release that, this is exactly what it is. But trust me, it's working in the background.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, great. Thank you so much, Brennan, for your thoughts and insights. We're, of course, very excited about the implications with Last Launch. Use that promo code, get 20% off your launch with Last Launch, all coupled together. That's LASTLAUNCH, 20% off as an introductory price. That's going to be available for the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
So that's not going to be available forever. And jump in, guys. Yeah, we'll continue to share some of the results, some of the feedback. We've encouraged those that have been part of the beta program. So in the King, some of the excellent results have already kind of been dripping in, but I'll add more for a bit of color and clarity there.
Yep.
But we're really excited. This is kind of a new phase for us through Seller.tools to offer this as a supplement to optimization, to visibility, and now we've really I feel we've delivered the evolution of launches. So we've aptly named it Last Launch because we want it to be the last platform that you use for launching. And we're going to do everything in our power to make that the case. If not, use what we've shared. Again, some of the insights. Spikes are important. You can still do heavily discounted promotions. Aim for quality over quantity if and when you can, and keep some of those other factors in mind. So with that, Brennan, you have anything else before we let these guys jump in and Last Launch on our way?
I think we covered. I mean, I'm going to continue to use it for my business. So guys, just don't eat up all the slots because
Yes. There is only a certain amount of slots. We take the same approach, quality over quantity. We could open the floodgates and take in probably 5 times as many slots, but we want to do right by our customers and deliver on everything that we've touched on and through the platform. And we're really excited. We just so happen to be releasing this about 2.5 weeks out from Prime Day. So if you want visibility prior to Prime Day, do it. This was very serendipitous to have this ready right before the largest Amazon-centric shopping day of the year that stands on its own, that's not holiday specific. And so, yeah, the opportunity is yours, guys. So
awesome, guys. Well, enjoy it. Thank you, Troy. And I guess we'll see you guys on the next live.
Absolutely. Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Yep.